And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're kind of doing an overview here, more so than a review, of Enchanters, the Deluxe box. Now, I have a lot of Enchanters stuff. This is more than I have, actually, but there's a lot of Enchanters stuff out. So what I'm just showing you is what's in the Deluxe box. Is it worth getting? Short answer, yes, I think so. If you like Enchanters like I do. Do you ever need a second big box? No, this is going to last you forever and ever. But what's in this box? I'm also going to show you a little bit of the upcoming expansion that's not out yet, but we did do a live playthrough of it, so that also kind of fits in here, although I don't have the final components for that. But everything else in here is pretty final, so here's a chance to see what's inside. So let's go inside the box. Okay, so let's take a look at what's inside this box. This is a pretty big box, and it's pretty chunky here. So as we look at everything, realize that most of it's final, a little bit if it's not, and I'll mention that. So here's the first game sheet that's in here. It says, hey, this is what you do for your first game. Great. And then this here talks about using the 3D tokens. So it's kind of interesting. We'll talk a little bit more about the 3D tokens, but this is just in case you don't know what's what. Then we have the guide to all the expansions. So this tells you which things they come in. And then a full rules thing. This I like a lot. I like having this explaining what all the different rules do in one book. Now this is one of the things that's not quite done yet. This is the new expansion, the Darklands expansion. This is the expansion that if you see our live play, which just went up a bit ago, you can see some of the factions there. We'll talk more about that. Here we have a bag, not completely necessary for this game, but this is what I really like. There's a mat here, and I like when the mat fits in a box. Although I will say, now the mat's out of the box is a little lighter. The mat's, and so you have the big mat here. This is the player mat, and then you have the, I'm sorry, this is the main mat in the middle. Then you have the player mats, and each of these player mats is kind of rolled up inside the big mat, but it fits in there well. These are stitched edges, good quality mats. And I like having those. That's one thing. I mean, you don't need a mat to play the game, but I like them a lot. So now we're looking inside the box. So let's talk a little bit about the extra stuff. So we have these 3D blood tokens. I find these to be okay. I think if they're painted or washed, they need to be washed at least, then they'd be phenomenal. That's great. So I'm not really criticizing them per se. And the different other tokens here, I just think they need to have that paint because the regular tokens to me are a lot easier to see. These are regular tokens in a big bag of them here in the corner. On the other hand, I do like using these gems. I really like these gems. I think I would buy these gems to use in other games. These are just basically to use in place of money. They're fantastic. Over here, we have some more tokens with their 3D upgrades. Here, same thing. These are used for specific factions. Alrighty, here we have the counter if you're playing against the big boss. Now, one of the things that I have complained about in the past with Enchanters is they overdid the cards. So the cards were all bendy, the big ones. You can see that problem has been fixed. So we have some help cards in here. Shows you all the different icons. And then we have some of the bosses. There's quite a few in here. I mean, really, if this doesn't give you enough to do with, and you even have these, which is what players would normally use, but I'm not going to ever use these because we have the player mats. And then over in this one, all the different areas, and you use one of these for a game. So the top ones here are new ones. You can tell because their corners aren't rounded yet. Again, these are pre-production, but the rest of these are done. Hateville. And so there's all kinds of these. And since you use one of these per game, you're really never going to run out. I mean, this is a ton of stuff. And then all the factions. So we got the mummies and mythic and nagas and ninjas and pirates and samurai and slime. And so they all just fit in here. Here's the samurais. You can see your things. And you can learn more about these, you know, seeing each expansion. But very easy to keep them sorted, and it has dividers in here. The monks, the mermaids, the medusae, the mages, the harpies, the golems, the goblins, the gnolls, the gladiators, geisha. Hey, these are in alphabetical order. Then we have the angels, the bandits, the barbarians, the centaurs, the cultists, dark elves, demons, dracons, and fairies. So that's all those. Over here we have the core cards, the wounds, randomizers, the coup, the automa, the AI deck, quests, banners, classes, and events. So you know, this is all the other cards you need. And then here we have a whole deck of cards that is, this is the new stuff. And again, these aren't completely done. And if you want to learn more about these factions, you can see this. We played with just these factions here. So we have these spirits, which are kind of annoying because they ignore your items. They only take your enchantments into effect, so that's kind of dangerous. The werewolves, which have a moon token, and I have that in here somewhere. It's still in prototype format. You'll flip over, and some people are better when they're in the full moon, and others are better in the new moon, things like that. See, the angry mob's better in the new moon. And then we have these that change people into frogs. The witches change people into frogs, so they actually come with an entire frog deck. And then I haven't seen the shrooms much of Waterwalk, of Confusion, of Life Trolls. Ooh, I like these. These are pretty will-o-wisp. So this helps when you go on the journey track. Ooh, I want to fight that shroom guy. He's my friend. I want him to join me, but whenever you pass this on the journey track, take one. So that's kind of cool. And Wreaths of Hospitality, of Love. Ooh, when your turn begins, if you have the most monsters, take one. Oh, that's not so good, but look at that. That's pretty cool. I want to have something of love. Let's find something cool. A spirit board of love. Let's find something. A mortar of love. Alrighty, I'm getting caught up in this. There's of envy, of hospitality, and then your fight against fiends and leshens, and the cockatrice, and then the wheat dragon. The wheat dragon counts. Ooh, the wheat dragon counts as a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, so this is neat. So again, these aren't completely done, but you can see there's definitely room for them in this box. So there you go, folks. That was just kind of a quick overview of what's in this box. Certainly something to look at. If you want to see those new factions in detail, check out our live play of it. But until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been taking a look at the Enchanters Deluxe box.